what I talk about in relation to parenting is equally true for just our existence and our relationship to the world. And the ideas I want to talk about today is what I call the 1,000 faces of love. What this basically means is that any thought that you have, any fear, any desire, any insecurity, any jealousy, any excitement over some accomplishment or idea that you have, thought, these are all manifestations of love. Now, some of them seem much more obviously love, so we'll talk about the ones that don't seem so obvious, which is fear, anger, hatred, jealousy, paranoia. But these are just an aspect of you that's trying to protect you. And in so much we are rushing ourselves or our children to evolve, and as a result we are not accepting what is happening. We're not accepting our fear. But if we realize that this is a manifestation of love, of self-protection, then perhaps we'll be a little more forgiving of the disturbance being caused by the fear or the worry or the anxiety. So let's say the universe is a surrender machine, and what we're trying to do is surrender to surrender. And love is the way, and you can see this stereotypically in romance stories, this love is the way that we move to that surrender. We surrender our willpower, we surrender our better judgment, we surrender thinking so much, and it goes more into the realm of feeling and emotion, which are just basically interpretations of sensations that we're having. So we're going to resist surrendering as long as we feel fear. And there's nothing wrong with feeling fear, and there's nothing wrong with resisting surrendering. It just means we're going to be less happy. So just by knowing that, whenever we catch ourselves resisting surrender, which is painful, we don't have to judge ourselves for that or judge the sensations in the body. We just connect with those sensations. We become present with those sensations. We surrender to those sensations without judging them, without agreeing or disagreeing with the thought that's saying this should be this way or this shouldn't be this way, or I should be surrendering more, or I can't surrender, or I need to surrender, or I shouldn't surrender. You're going to surrender to the extent that you're surrendering in that moment. And if you surrender to the resistance, the sensation of resistance, then you're surrendering nevertheless. So the idea is that the universe is a surrender machine, and we're trying to surrender, not to surrender for any point, not to surrender to any external being that's not us, not to have any conceptual framework of what surrender is. We're simply surrendering just for its own sake, and we're surrendering to the surrender aspect of reality. We're surrendering to ourselves.